Hey y'all, it's Ricky with RBJ Fishing. In this video, we're gonna take a look at my native Watercraft Titan 12. We're just gonna look from front to back at the additions it's got, just to give you guys some ideas, some stuff that helps me out, makes it convenient, some of the stuff that native offers. You know, part of the fun in it for me is all the little trinkets and the add-ons and stuff. I'm sure that you guys agree that's a big part of why we like kayak fishing. So I think a thing to do is just kind of show everybody our rig. So here's the video, you guys get a look at mine. All right, we'll start here at the front. One of the first things that I've added on is made a new handle. Handle I can grab. I watched a guy on YouTube, probably a lot of you guys follow him, Greg Blanchard. He's got a handle he can put two hands on because these things get heavy. So I took PVC, I think it's 1.25 inch PVC, and I drilled 2 holes through both sides of it on each side, and then ran some large gauge paracord and just wrapped it around the handle there. I mean, because really this handle's got a lot of comments for not being very just useful. It's hard to use, you know, when these kayaks get that heavy, so you want to have something that you can really lift up after you're loaded. We've got the marker lights because I do have a motor install. You know, whenever I'm motored up, I have to use the navigation lights at night. All right, so getting into the hatch, I don't keep much in here. Honestly, I just keep my battery. That's how I've got it rigged up. I've got a switch panel here that operates my navigational lights up front. It also operates my 360 light in the back, but we've got the wires run underneath to also handle the PWM for the trolling motor, and everything's kind of ran internally. Honestly, it's pretty handy until they start going bad. To be honest, the review of these switches, I didn't install this panel. I think a lot of guys use the Yak power system. I also had trouble with the Yak power system switches burning out, but these toggle switches also burn out. So there may be something I don't know that I'm doing that's causing that to happen, but already within the first 6 months of having this kayak, I've had to change these toggle switches out multiple times. So something else, some of you guys that have natives might notice, is that these the rod protectors have been changed out here for some diamond plate aluminum. So I mean, basically what I found that nice for is using that to step on. I've repainted them and kept them and switched back and forth. I just kind of like that it's a custom feature. Honestly, it's kind of cool. We got our PWM controller. We basically have the front plug here that connects back to the battery up front, and then once we connect this will hook up back to the trolling motor. So then we use this as we're going down the water to control our kayak. Also, I have to be really careful. You guys that have these PWMs know that you can fry them by going back and forth. I mean, leave a comment down below if there's a better motor that you guys have found that's more resistant to that, because I have to be really careful not to go back and forth with this controller or I'll burn it up. Also, a little addition that I stole from old Blanchard. He had one of these G2 nets that I already had, but he had this PVC handle on it. So I looked that up on YouTube. I'll see if I can find the link to that guy's video, give him credit. But a guy walks you through how to, you know, take the handle apart and add an 1.25 inch PVC just to kind of extend your handle. So I've written with that, and then the paddle wrap on that also. But move to the back, we got our trolling motor mount. I've got both a 30-pound thrust and a 50-pound thrust, and maybe you guys can help me understand why I really don't get that much more out of the 50. I've got a 35 amp hour sealed lead acid battery. Anyway, I don't really get much more, but there is a significant amount more weight with the 50. So if I carry a motor, I usually go with the 30 and just let it help me out. I can get about 4 to 4.5 miles an hour with this Titan with a 30-pound thrust. We've got a regular 360 light that goes on a boat wired in. So you can just take it out, but it's hardwired in. So it's just your standard extendable pole. I like that, other than the fact that when those toggle switches go out, it goes out also. Walking back up to the front so I can keep focused on where I'm headed here. I've got the Lowrance Elite 7 Ti. It's got the side scan, down scan, regular sonar, and pretty good mapping, and it's also touchscreen. You can customize all the mapping. It's a little bit older of a unit, but I looked up and found that one for like 200 bucks. I've got the seat risers. I did not buy these for these, but I believe they come from Burley Pro. 2.5 to 3 inch seat risers. That's really awesome, just to give me a better ability to stand up. I'm a pretty big guy. And with that clearance, I've seen a lot of guys use the Craftsman box under here. I don't think I'm gonna do that just yet. I bought this little $5 Plano box, and I just got some bungees rigged up in here. And I just kind of keep a junk box, you know, to kind of throw my stuff in and stuff I want to keep up with. Maybe if there's a bait I'm using a bunch that day and I know I don't want to dig in the box, to keep it in here. Yeah, one addition to the kayak that I wouldn't want to do without, that I love, especially since I do the river trips where I'm not carrying my box, is this storage strap. And you can kind of see how It mounts up. Most of you guys that have natives or know about natives, if you're watching this video, you probably know what this is. You can get it on Native's website. They have several different little storage pouches that you can buy. This is the one that mounts under your seat to this secondary bar, but it's big enough to hold these boxes on these slots and then hold my tools. And all that being accessible like that's really cool. I like having my footing here and not having the ones mounted to the side with standing up and fishing. So yeah, that's a must. I wouldn't do without. Love this thing. I've also got these waterproof boxes that fit perfect in it. So I've got 2 of them. I keep crankbaits and all kind of lures in this one, and then terminal tackle in the other, you know, just so I got everything there and ready. I've got the overmount for the Native Sidekick, so we'll touch on that. Something I wanted to mention, when I got this, it came with the heavy-duty Boondocks Groovy landing gear, the one with the square mount, and it's all black. I was having a really hard time using that system, although I liked how it looked a little better. I just couldn't get it to operate well, and this Native Sidekick really goes in and out well, because what I do is I'll put in the water with my wheels still in, roll away and pull the wheels out while I'm floating. And so being able to do that with ease of operation was important to me. I didn't want to be wrestling with the landing gear, so I switched it out. So anyway, got the overmount where you can, you know, lay your rods in the rod protector and store them here, which I will be using for like my river camping trips and stuff. That's where that's going to come in handy. I normally store all my rods vertically. So we'll just move on to that. I've got a Pelican 1620 case that I have seen guys use these waterproof cases as tackle boxes. This does add some weight, but it's really nice to not have to worry about anything getting wet in here. What I did was, it's kind of got a ridge on the back here, and I used a couple pressure treated 2x4s, and I mounted it to the kayak at an angle, and then I used aluminum tube of steel, and then bought these off of Amazon. I think they came in a pack of 3 for like $10. So all in all, I got about $30 in this mount, and I think I got this box for like $70. So like this whole setup cost me $100, not including the other stuff I'm about to show you. But yeah, I wired them in, and that gives me an angle on my rods. And do you need 8 rods? Absolutely not all the time, but it is nice to be able to carry them if I want to. I keep a battery for my GoPro in here, and that's wired to a USB port out there. But I also keep this in here in case I need to switch my operation and run from the front battery for my GoPro. I have something here with an extra cable that's stored up front, so I can plug into this if I need to. But I also plug my battery in here and charge it from here too. So these are pretty cool. But you know, this is all siliconed and sealed up. Got me some little command strips for my scale. Got my GoPro mount. I'll show you how I got that mounted up. So I've got the 6-inch Yak Attack gear mount that I used to mount the Railblazer attachment. And I've actually taken what this was. I didn't buy a Railblazer GoPro mount. Once I got this kayak and it had this type of mount for my light, what I did was I used my old Railblazer 360 light and made a GoPro mount out of it. So basically I just plug this in here, and that lets me keep my GoPros charging. You guys already know that, but I'm just now learning about that. That's a pretty cool feature. Batteries used to be a big problem. So moving up, got my next level design. Most guys that have natives know about this guy. He's Ryan Garrett on Facebook. That's how you order. You contact him on Facebook. He'll make you a handle. He's got this bearing plate that I ordered for mine that makes it much more smooth. And for those of you that may not know what this system does, when it's matched with the Burley Pro steering system, it gives you basically 90-degree steering. It lets you turn your rudder, you know, all the way around and just basically rotate, especially in these Titans. So it's a pretty cool feature. I'll go ahead and move to the steering. You can see we got the Burley Pro steering plate with the new cable installed that goes with that kit, and we got our Boondocks rudder. There's one more thing I forgot up here at the front. Saw a guy that bought some carbon Kydex sheets. They're like a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch thick or less on Amazon, and took a heat gun and molded him a Keel Guard. And when I got this kayak, this keel was kind of squared off. So I had some concerns about how thin that was, and this just solved it, man. It's basically cut it in the design that I wanted, and then took the heat gun to it. And it did take some slow, heating and cooling to get it to mold, because it wants to ripple on the sides, and that looks junky. But after a while, it worked out. I actually had to JB weld it on and then continue to mold the edges to get those to soften up, and then glue it some more. So I've sealed the outside edge with some silicone, and the internal is JB weld. We'll see how that holds up. It's done pretty good so far. I've been on 3 or 4 trips and not seen even any silicone breakdown just yet. But yeah, that about covers it. All right, guys, thanks for watching, especially if you're still watching. I appreciate that. I know a lot of people cut off at the first couple minutes. Thank you. If you did like what you saw, please press subscribe and hit the like button, leave a comment, and check out my other videos. Love to hear what you guys think. Stay tuned for the next one.